At 3:14 in the morning, the dish caught a voice from beyond Neptune, and it was mine, not a recording. Me, at 9 years old, describing the spaceship I swore I would build someday. I had never told a single soul about that dream. I'm Mara, night engineer at a tracking station in the desert, paid to listen to nothing. Space is a vacuum. It carries no sound. My whole career is silence, sifted for faint whispers. And now, the silence was singing back at me, in my own child's voice. The coordinates made no sense. Past Neptune, 30 times farther from the sun than we stand, out where light thins to a needle and the cold turns air to ice. Nothing of ours flies that far but Voyager, decades gone. This came from farther still. The log named a transmitter I couldn't find in any archive, a microphone. One we designed once, on paper, and never launched. Cancelled, scrapped. It existed only as a dream in a folder nobody ever opened. Yet there it was, past Neptune, calling home. I told myself it was a fault, a loop, a ghost in the wiring, my tired brain hearing patterns in noise. I ran the diagnostics twice. Clean. The child's voice played on, patient, describing the fins and portholes I had once drawn in crayon. I hadn't thought of that drawing in 30 years. The ship with the singing hull. My mother threw it out the week she left, and I forgot it on purpose. Whatever was past, Neptune had not forgotten. It was mailing it back, piece by piece. The next night, a second signal. My father's laugh, whose sound I had lost. Then a language I invented at 7. Each broadcast arrived impossibly faint, a fraction of a billionth of a watt, caught only by the great dish's patient, straining ear. I knew what deep space signals really are. Not sound, plasma waves, oscillations in charged particles, turned into audio so human ears can pretend to hear the dark. Sonified data, poetry laid over physics. But no data set on Earth holds a child's whispered promise. I called Idris, my supervisor, at 4 a.m. He listened for a long minute, then, quietly, play it again. When the voice spoke his daughter's nickname, a girl born years after the microphone was scrapped, he slowly sat down on the floor. It wasn't only mine. The thing past Neptune was returning everyone's. The dreams we abandoned, the selves we buried to become useful adults. It held our whole species' lost interior, and it was reading it aloud, one soul at a time, into a 70-meter antenna. But a reply cannot outrun light. From that far, a message takes days, years to cross the cold. Whatever answered us had heard these dreams long ago, back when we still had them, and only now was the echo arriving from the dark. Then I remembered what we truly sent. The golden record, Earth's sounds, greetings, music, pressed into gold and flung outward on Voyager. One way into the night. Our dreams, mailed to no address at all. Maybe something out there had finally signed for the package. I stopped going home. I lived in the control room, feeding the dish coordinates, begging for more. Each night, it gave me back a piece of the girl I had been before I decided that dreaming was a waste of a good, hard-working life. Idris warned me. He'd watched the logs, my racing pulse, my sleepless eyes on the security feed. You're chasing a mirror, Mara. Maybe. But the mirror knew things about me I had sealed away for good. I needed to know who was holding it. So, I did the forbidden thing. I aimed the transmitter outward and sent a question of my own, a single line into the dark. Who are you? Then I waited. Days, I thought. The round trip to that distance should have taken most of a lifetime. It answered in 9 hours. Impossible. Faster than the cold allowed, faster than light itself should carry it. The voice that came back was mine again, but grown, tired, the exact age I am tonight. And it said, I'm the part of you that you left behind. The microphone we never launched wasn't hardware at all. It was every version of us we chose not to become. The ship unbuilt, the songs unsung, gathered somewhere past Neptune where discarded futures drift like ice. It had been waiting, patiently, to be missed. It offered me a trade. Come out here and be whole. Give up the useful, exhausted woman for the girl with the singing ship. All I had to do was aim myself outward and stop answering the ringing phones that kept me chained to this earth. God, I wanted to be the dreamer again, unbroken. But the girl in the signal had never held Idris while he cried, never learned the weight of a real, disappointing, precious life. She was a dream, and somewhere along the way, I had become a person. So I told it no. Not a rejection, a thank you. I don't want you back, I sent. I want to remember you. There's a difference. Keep the dreams safe out there. I'll build a smaller ship here, with the plain years I have left. The signal held for one more breath. Then, softly, in the child's voice, it said, I hoped you would say that. And it let go. The dish returned to its hissing static, the old, honest silence of a universe that has never carried a single sound. Idris found me at dawn, asleep at the console. The logs from that whole week were gone, wiped clean, as if the machine were guarding the story from people who would only try to explain it away. Only I remembered now, and that, I understood, was the point. I went home, I dug out a box of crayons, I drew the ship with the singing hull again, badly, 40 years old, and pinned it to the wall. Not to launch it, just to keep the promise that something, somewhere out there, had kept for me. Sometimes, on the night shift, the dish still catches a whisper from past Neptune, faint, patient, a fraction of a billionth of a watt. I never decode it anymore. I just listen. Somewhere out in the dark, our dreams are still mailing themselves quietly home.